it comes right down to it, the Ellen DeGeneres Show was a hit right from the very start, and now in the show's second season, Ellen has picked up right where she left off, and her ratings are hotter than ever, I think up like 37 or 40%. Of course, Ellen's up to her usual tricks, like serving ice cream to audience members, calling viewers at home, and of course, a fair share of dancing. That one? Yeah. That's your signature move there, is what you were saying?
Well, it is now.
Yeah.
I've decided.
Ellen, welcome back. Good to see you.
It's good to be back. Thank you.
Good news, bad news, okay? So many people talk about the dancing.
Mm-hmm.
That's good because they're talking about the show, kind of.
Yeah.
Do you think they're spending too much time talking about the dancing?
You know, no, because it's fun. And I think that kind of represents what the show is. The show is just kind of an upbeat, positive energy, and dancing represents that. It's freeing, it's joyous, and so I don't mind it. You know, obviously it's positive, and I don't mind positive.
And when you sat down at a meeting sometime a year and a half ago and said, by the way, I may dance a little bit in each show, did you have any idea, though, that it would become such a signature of the show?
What I actually signed on to do was a dance show, and then they said, can we talk? Can we also talk? And I said, all right, if you want to, but I'm going to dance. You know, I had no idea that was going to happen at all. It was a joke. I started dancing at first a little bit, and now it's become something that I...
Now if you don't do it, by the way, I'm sure you'd have some sort of audience riot.
It would be
in
chaos.
The studio.
The world would... you'd see people throwing chairs, and cars would turn over.
Were you lighting on fire?
Yeah.
Like after the Super Bowl or something?
Like after a sports event, yeah.
Were you nervous about your sophomore year? I mean, you know, there's so much attention paid to the freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the Emmy Award. You know, everybody says, this is the best out there. Are you worried that people would tune in the second year and go, let's see what all the hype's about?
Well, you certainly... I mean, I'm competing with myself every day. I'm not competing with anybody else. I'll be harder on myself than anybody will ever be on me. So I want... And I get bored easily. So I want to keep it fresh for me every day. And as long as I'm having fun, I think people can sense that and they'll watch.
Were there things in the first year that didn't work that you did for the whole year and you just said, you know what, we're not bringing that back?
Not really. It's just that we want to keep things, you know, fresh so that we don't do the same segment over and over again. So I don't think, I mean, and if there were things, obviously I've placed them out of my mind.
Let me ask you about big names, because they all come by your show.
Mm-hmm.
Your show is on, when I get back to my dressing room after our show, your show is on. So I see it almost every day.
Mm-hmm.
And you've gotten just about everybody who's big in Hollywood to stop by the show.
Mm-hmm.
Who don't you have yet in your roles? Who would you love?
You know, I'd love to have Bono on, and U2. I think he's a fascinating guy, and I'd love to talk to him. But, you know, we've had, you know, everyone.
If someone comes on, a celebrity, and what's your theory in terms of questioning? Some of these celebrities appear on shows at a time where they're in the news for one reason or another. Usually it's controversial. Do you talk about it?
If I do, I try to find a different way to talk about it. I never want anyone to feel uncomfortable, and I feel like if they've already talked about it, the last thing they want to do is talk about it
So
again.
like a Paris Hilton comes on your show, and everybody, you know what everybody wants to hear about a little bit.
Yeah.
You make a decision there.
Yeah, well, we put a video camera in her dressing room before she came on. She doesn't know that. And we have that tape.
Yeah, when do we see that?
Well, I have to, you know, choose the right time when I need cash. But, you know, yeah, I mean, Janet Jackson was on after that whole event, and you know, the only reason I made a comment is her hair kept hitting the mic, and someone signaled that we had to move her hair, and I said malfunctions like that happen. And it's the only reference I made to that.
Because you basically have to make a decision. You have to decide, do you want this guest on in the future? Do you want them to come back? Or do you want to ask the question that some people who are curious at home might want to hear asked?
Yeah, but I think usually people have already had that question asked and it's been answered on other shows. I think they come to my show so that they can just relax and have a conversation. It's not about controversy. It's not about being salacious. It's about a conversation. So, you know, it's not about even coming back. Yeah, I want them to come back, but I want a good show, and I want it to be entertaining, and I want the viewer to enjoy it. I want the guest to enjoy it.
What I love, and when I see the show a lot, but what I love is first of all, your interaction with the studio audience. But also, every time I tune in, you're talking to someone at home, too. Which has got to be a trip, because it's dealing with people who aren't practiced and polished at being in show business.
Well, I think it comes from being, the reason I'm a stand-up is because I love making people laugh, and I relate to the audience. I look at the people behind you, and I relate to everybody. I'm not just thinking about what we're talking about. I know what other people, I think about it from the audience's point of view, and so I want to talk to those people. I want to talk to people that are just regular people.
Plus, it's spontaneous. You can't rehearse something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
As a matter of fact, one of the reasons you're in New York right now is because I guess a viewer. This is as part of a viewer request, right?
Right. Well, I get a lot of invitations to birthday parties, weddings, things like that, and so I RSVP'd this woman who invited me to a casino night to raise money for charity, and so I went. We flew in.
We have tape of this, right?
Yeah, I flew in, and this weekend we went. That's Jane Launer, and we were playing blackjack at that point, and it raised up to $8, and so I folded. It was way too high.
You don't have the stomach for it?
No, but that's one reason, and I'll tell you why I'm really here. I don't know if we have time for this, but I'm here to settle a score with Katie Couric because, you know, she interviewed me. I was in Los Angeles. She was here. She could see me on a monitor, but I just had an earphone, and she said, "Dance for us, Ellen," and played music in my ear and said, "Come on, I'm dancing, Ellen. You're not dancing. You're making me look like a fool." So I got up, and I danced, and I saw the tape later.
Oh, this is the tape right here.
Okay, good. You have it. So look at her saying she's rocking out, and she makes me feel, I don't want to make her feel stupid, so I get up and dance. I'm by myself in the studio with music in my ear. No one else can hear it but me. So I start dancing. No one around me could hear music, so everyone is looking. She wasn't dancing. So
she was rocking out in Katie's own rocking out way.
No, her voice was, "I'm dancing, Ellen," like kind of like she was, like trying to breathe hard.
Yeah.
And I won't rest until I see Katie Couric dance alone.
Alone?
Alone. And I'm going to play it on my... Look at the audience going crazy. They agree with me. Until she dances alone, I'm telling you.
Where is Katie right now?
I won't rest.
Where is Katie?
Where is she?
Oh, she's in the newsroom.
I am.
Katie?
Okay, Ellen.
Get up. Dance. Look at that. There she goes. Come on, Al.
Oh, she wanted you alone.
Dance with her. Come on, Al.
Wait a second.
That's not... Wait. I love the way Al does. All right, you two.
Hey, in your honor, I'd like the guys in the studio. Come on, guys.
Everybody.
Let's go.
Everybody. That's right. That's what we're talking about.
We aim to please here, Ellen.
Oh, fantastic.
So next time, don't complain about it, all right? Just do it.
Natalie Morales, come dance with us.
Now I'm happy.
Ellen DeGeneres.
Thanks, Katie. That's it.
Congratulations on season 2, well underway. That was Natalie Morales dancing there in the background. She's not even working today.
Thank you so much, Matt. All right, good seeing you.
I'd like to see more of that, actually.